The big news today is that the jury has begun its deliberations. They wrapped without coming to a verdict. That is unsurprising. AP has the story. Jurors in Trump hush money trial end first day of deliberations after asking to rehear testimony. And then they sent another note in asking for the judge's instructions again because no one knows what the crime is. Nobody understands what's going on. Now, here's the best part. Let's start from the beginning. Jonathan Turley posting this earlier in the morning. Merchan just delivered the coup de grace instruction. He said that there is no need to agree on what occurred. They can disagree on what the crime was among the three choices. Thus, this means that they could split 4-4-4 and he would still treat them as unanimous. Now, the other day in closing arguments, we heard this from the prosecution, and I knew the prosecution would do something like this. Like, hey, you all know that Trump's a criminal. Just convict him, say he committed a crime. And the prosecution actually presents this. The judge actually agrees. We have this from Mark Levin. The grotesque trial charade gets even worse this morning. The Stalinist clown judge directed the jury that they can choose among three areas of crimes to convict the former president. 1, violations of federal election law, which no one in the courtroom is familiar with, and the judge barred Brad Smith from testifying about. 2, falsification of business records, and 3, tax violations. Of course, the issue for all of the above is the requirement of criminal intent. Furthermore, the idea that jurors can pick one of the three and they don't have to unanimously agree on which of the three is another shocking development. Moreover, the federal campaign violation has still not been defined. Now, here's where it gets good. The corporate press, of course, is playing the game where they create their own conspiracy theory and then debunk it to trick people into not realizing what's going on. The AP says posts misrepresent New York judge's instructions to jury in Trump hush money trial, claiming that the claim is that the judge told the jury they don't need to have a unanimous verdict. No, nobody said that. We're talking about the underlying crime. That's what Jonathan Turley pointed out. That's what Mark Levin pointed out. Basically, everyone pointed out that what they're saying is, if the jury says, yeah, Trump falsified a record, what is the other crime he's covering up? The judge says, you pick. It's up to you, because there's never been one. Right. They don't have one. So buried in this AP assessment, false. Merchan said that to convict Trump, the jury will have to find unanimously on each of the 34 felony counts. And then when you go down, they actually break down. Well, not really. The judge told the jury to convict Trump on any given charge. To convict, they will have to find unanimously. They all must agree the former president created a fraudulent entry in the company's records or caused someone else to do so. They say the crime Trump committed or hid is a violation of New York election law, making it illegal for 2 or more conspirators to promote or prevent the election of any person to a public office by unlawful means. Merchan gave the jurors 3 possible, quote, unlawful means, aka crimes, that they can apply to Trump's charges: falsifying other business records, breaking FEC law, or submitting false information in tax return. For conviction, each juror would have to find that at least one of those 3 things happened, but they don't have to agree unanimously on which it was. This whole time we've been wondering, what is the underlying crime? They took a misdemeanor beyond the statute of limitations and said, yes, but he was concealing another crime. Therefore, it's now a felony and we can charge him. And everyone said, what's the underlying crime? Went, oh, and the jury can figure it out if they want, but they don't got to be unanimous. This is a rigged trial from the judge. Welcome to 2024. I'm not.
Yeah. So shout out to Tim Pool. I just wanted to play that video because he perfectly laid it out for you there. They have done everything possible to make sure that Trump is convicted. And honestly, and I said this yesterday, I hope that they do. I hope they do. I mean, just take a look at the instructions list that was read to the jurors but wasn't given to them. Check this out.
I got it. These are the instructions that the jury has to follow in Donald Trump's hush money trial before they can reach a verdict. 53 pages. This is complicated. This is lengthy stuff. It took the judge over an hour to read it. But guess what? The jury doesn't get this in the room during deliberations. They have to write questions, they can write notes, but they don't get these instructions. In New York, both parties have to agree and the judge has to agree. And in this case, it didn't happen. They don't have this in the room right now. I got.
Yeah. 50 pages that was just read to them and not handed to them. But you know, the great thing about all of this is that it's, well, at least the polls are showing that people don't really care about this trial. Don't really care at all. The narrative at, towards the beginning when all the indictments were dropping was that people were going to care if Trump was actually convicted. And now we're seeing that nobody cares. Check it out.
Think Trump did something illegal in the New York hush money case. I've been interested in whether or not these numbers would change at all during the course of this trial. Simply put, John, they have not. Pre-opening statements think Trump did something illegal, 46%. After the direct examination of Michael Cohen by the prosecution, look at where we are now, 46%. The percentage of Americans who think that the charges are very serious, in fact, dropped from 40% to a little bit more than 35% during the course of this trial. So, yes, perhaps things might have changed with those 12 jurors, but when it comes to the larger American public, there has been no change, at least so far, John.
Any possible reasons why?
Yeah, I think the question is what's exactly cooking here? Why hasn't there been much of a change? Well, folks like you and me, real news junkies, might be paying really close attention to what's going on. The fact is, most Americans don't really care that much. So closely following news about economy, inflation, that's number one at 65%. Look at immigration, 52%. Election legitimacy, 49%. Abortion, 47%. All the way down on this list of issues tested by the Ipsos Knowledge Panel is Trump's court cases at 42%, significantly less than economy and inflation. The fact is, John, when we're looking at these numbers, what we see is Americans' minds aren't changing, and a big reason why Americans' minds aren't changing is at this particular point, John, they are tuned out of the conversation.
You say folks like you and me. I'm not sure there are very many folks exactly
No,
like you, Harry.
no.
But I take your point on that.
No.
In terms of the general election matchup right now, how do things look there?
Yeah, just, quickly here, John, I'll just point out the Biden versus Trump margin, perhaps not a big surprise. Donald Trump had a slight lead before the trial began. Now he continues to have a slight lead. Look, it's still very much a winnable race for Joe Biden. But at this particular point, that Trump train that's been moving faster than it's ever moved before in a general election doesn't show any signs of slowing down, despite the criminal indictments against him, despite the fact that this case in New York is now going to the jury, John.
So nobody cares. Oh, man. This is what they bet everything on. They bet it all on, hey, we got to convict Trump. We got to get him. We got to get him. And it's not working. It's not working at all. And it's fantastic to see that people aren't buying, this BS that they're trying to feed to us. Because it's a load of crap. It's a load of crap.
Because they're so deeply invested in this lawfare because they believe that it was going to neutralize Donald Trump as a political force in 2024, and it's only strengthened him. And it's not just this one case, David, that is completely outrageous with no crime. Donald Trump didn't do anything wrong. It's all of the cases put together. You've got these 4 cases, 91 counts, up to 700 years in prison. The average American goes, oh, come on. This pile-on is completely unjustified, and it's all because Donald Trump simply wanted to make America great again. Right. This is absolutely ludicrous. So the backlash has been very politically potent, not in the way the left wanted, but in favor of Donald Trump. And if they'd had their way.
Bingo. They're going so hard because they thought this was going to take Trump out. And it's only made him stronger. It has only continued to make Trump stronger. And it's a great thing when people aren't buying into the BS. But, like I said, I hope that they convict him. I hope that they put him in jail. I hope that we get some images of Trump in cuffs, because I really do believe that it will wake even more people up to how much of a sham this actually is. And you heard that, and you heard Tim Pool saying there, like, this is absolute crap. Like, to say, oh, well, you guys don't have to agree on what he actually did. You just have to believe that he did something. You don't have to come to a unanimous decision, though. Just as long as he did something, right? Like, what? This is just crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. But like I said, I'm happy that this stuff is going on because it wakes people up to how trash this actually is. And the fact that Joe Biden is going to come out and give a speech after the verdict is read, I think that says everything you need to know about this entire case, in my humble opinion. But of course, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Trump's going to win no matter what. If he gets convicted, he wins. If he doesn't, he still wins. As a matter of fact, I think he wins even more if he does get convicted. So I hope he does. I hope he does. But do y'all agree? Let me know. Peace and love. I'm out.